So I've been reading a book called 10 Key Formula Families in Chinese Medicine by Dr. Huang, and it's been a great book, and it's basically categorizing diseases and treatment formulas in Chinese medicine into large formula families so that you can understand the families of these diseases and presentations. And so one of the formulas that they talk about in there is a formula called Jing Tang, which I was going to talk about today. And Jing Tang, or warm the menses or warm the flowing decoction, it's a formula that was originally written in one of the ancient texts, one of the most important ancient texts, called Essentials from the Golden Cabinet. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about that today. So one of the key factors in using Wenjing Tang is you have to first differentiate the type of menstrual flow a woman has. So it's a formula that's originally intended to treat all types of problems of menstruation, whether that be irregular menstruation, irregular cycles, painful periods, infertility. It can be used for a whole variety of different things, but to use the formula, you have to make sure it's the right type of case. So the way we understand whether this is the right type of case for the formula is you ask questions about the menstruation. So typically the Wenjing Tang type case is for women who have menstrual bleeding that's darker and it has more clots. If that's an indication that there's more cold in the body, not universally, but it tends to be. If the menstrual bleed is more of a bright red color or purplish or tends to be sticky, that is a sign of more likely that she has internal heat, in which case you wouldn't use this type of formula. But if you have a dark bleed and sometimes pale with clotting, that means there's cold in the interior, and that's the type of case that Wenjing Tang is used for. So Wenjing Tang has 3 herbs that are especially intended to tonify blood, move the blood, and those 3 herbs are Dangui, Baishao, and Chuanshang. Those are 3 key herbs in this formula. And those 3 herbs work to help improve the blood supply and nourish the uterus, and that helps resolve a lot of the symptoms that a woman might be having. There's 2 herbs also in there that are meant specifically to warm the uterus, because we want to do 2 things. We want to nourish the blood supply, improve the blood supply, but we also want to warm the uterus. And those 2 herbs are guizi, which is cinnamon twig, and wuzu yu, which is the evodia fruit. And both of those help to work together to warm the menstrual cycle, improve the blood flow, reduce clotting, reduce pain. So this formula can improve the function of the uterus and the ovaries, and it's really a great formula for improving women's health and numerous issues. But you definitely have to use it for the right types of cases. So like I just talked about, when there's interior cold, that's the right type of case for Wenjing Tang. But if you use this formula in a woman who has a lot of heat or dampness, you could make their symptoms even worse. You could make their health worse. So it's really important to clarify the diagnosis and then treat appropriately, treat accordingly. And so Wenjing Tang is for interior cold, and it can be hard to tell the diagnosis just based on the type of flow a woman might be having, and so that's why we ask lots of different types of questions. So if you have dry lips or dry mouth, or just feel cold, feel tired, fatigue, those are all additional symptoms that can help you know whether this is the right type of formula for the right type of case or not. That's why it's important to have a doctor who can differentiate your symptoms, give you a right diagnosis, and then give you the appropriate treatment for that, which is what we do at Houston Acupuncture and Primary Care. So if you want more information about us, check out our link in the description. That's a little bit about Wenjing Tang, or warm the menses decoction, and we'll see you next time.